unfortunately, you don't know the reality of the situation until you're faced with it. You don't really.
What? I went on the wrong channel.
Think takes place.
Went live on the wrong channel. Hi, what's up, Kevin? We're going to watch Justice Tech Pros over here. He put a good video out. I'm going to watch it. Hi, what's up, Bulldogs and Diamonds? Mind someone else's business, Mike. What's going on, everybody? We're going to listen to Justice Tech Pros put out a killer podcast, a video. I think he put it out today or yesterday. I'm not sure. But it's he talks about the Carmine Persico thing right here. Because I got it wrong too. People were coming in and telling me that he told on people and stuff, and I even believed it. I didn't really do my homework like I should have done. What's up, George Gallione? Gumustai. So we're going to play this video.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Justice Tech Pros podcast. Here's your host, Dominic Crea.
Hello, listeners. I wanted to do a podcast today. A few things came up. Just wanted to touch on it. Voice my opinion on it.
Let me put the volume up.
One of the things I wanted to talk about is the hot topic lately with. I was reading an article with Carmine Persico where they're trying to say the guy was an informant. What's crazy to me is, unless I don't know, I'm viewing this from a totally different viewpoint. I don't see what everybody's claiming to see. Well, not everybody. People who are looking at it see it the way I see it. I've had a few discussions on it. But they're showing this document, and I'll put it up on the screen. You'll be able to see it. You'll see what I'm talking about. They're showing this document, and they're trying to say that this document, I believe from 1970 something, 71 maybe, confirms that Carmine Persico was an informant. Now, what's crazy to me is when I'm looking at the document, you'll notice that there's two columns. The column on the left has a heading of captain or capodicina, and on the right it's the symbol number of informant. And then it has a bunch of names underneath the column of captain, and it has Carmine Persico is one of those names. And on the right, it has the symbol number of informant. And if you notice, it has...
Wait, who said I should apologize? Why should I apologize to you? This guy says apologize? Apologize for what? I don't get it. You got that stupid picture of A-Light on there with his pogo stick.
It has three numbers on the document. This 3461-C-TE. It has three of the exact same numbers, and it's linked to the three individuals on the left of the document. So for me, looking at that, unless I'm not seeing what they're seeing, that tells me that on the left is the target, quote unquote, and on the right is the informant number associated with that target. So that tells me that the number on the right is an individual who has information on the people on the left. So I don't understand where they're pulling that this means the people on the left are the informants. It's two separate columns. One for the target.
See, I'm glad Justice Tech Pros made this video because I didn't understand all this, and I just believed it also, I guess. He points it out. This guy's real smart. He knows his law shit big time, unlike me.
Which they have labeled as captain, and one on the right, which is the symbol number of the informant. So if you're looking at it, you could, I guess, line up, okay, this informant with this number, this 3461-C-TE, has information on the individuals, on the left-hand column. That's the way I view it. Now, people are taking it, reporters, this and that, and this is the danger of
And
society.
who knows why they want it? Maybe the government wants to make him out to be a rat. I don't know why they would want to do this. Maybe just to defame people. Who the fuck knows? And he explains how these writers and stuff run with it. I'll let him tell it. You can tell it better than I can.
Right. You have somebody looking at that and maybe not understanding what they're looking at. And right away, a story gets run with calling somebody an informant, which this is their only evidence. And I don't see it. I don't see what they're really citing or how they're holding on to this, because the way I interpret it, it's totally different. And honestly, what's crazy is if you take it a step further, and if you plug in that number, that 3461-C-TE, and you search it, you go on the internet, you search that number, there's a bunch of documents that come linked to Greg Scarpa Sr. So that tells me that was his number. You could just search it. It's a 2-second search. And you'll see all these different documents that come up with Greg Scarpa Sr. So that just tells me that that represented his informant number. And that individual, Greg Scarpa, was the one giving information on the people on the left-hand column. And one would think that a reporter or anybody, the lawyers involved that are putting this information out, that they would have taken the time to at least do a quick search, just to search the numbers, search everything up, understand the document before jumping right away and going immediately to the conclusion, oh, this guy's an informant. To me, they're not reading the document accurately. I don't know how anyone could look at that and come up with that determination. That's not what I see. Again, if I saw it, it is what it is, but that's just not what I see. And I'm not here defending. I mean, it's not about that. What I'm just trying to point out is this is how dangerous society could be. They take something that's not accurate and they make it fit a narrative. Now, it's obvious why they want to push this story. It's very transparent. Obviously, they want to push it for a lot of reasons, and I could see it as a bargaining chip with the government. You know, when they're approaching, say, other people that they want to make flip or they want to turn state's evidence or work for the government, they use a high-profile name like that and say, "Oh, look, he did it. Why are you not doing it? Oh, you know, this is over. You might as well just join Team America." This guy did it. So many people do it that you're not aware of, just to almost water it down. So if they're dealing with somebody who's weak-minded, they'll buy into that and agree. And if somebody's not strong in their constitution, something like this will sway them. Some people, don't matter what they dangle in front of them, they have their beliefs, and they're not getting swayed one way or the other. Other people who are on the fence, something like this could affect the decision making and could impact on how they move forward. So I believe that has a lot to do with it. And once again, unfortunately, people forget the family aspect of it. You have this gentleman whose family suffered for many, many years watching their loved one go through this, then eventually passing away. And
yeah, it's because think about it. If Persico was a rat, why would he spend all that time in jail too? So yeah, I'm glad he made this video. I got my second strike on my other channel. I was trying to go live on my original channel, but I picked the wrong channel, but it doesn't matter. They hit me with the second strike, so I got to be careful on what I stream on that other channel now.
Now, they have to have his name dragged through the mud, which is totally irresponsible of those involved and those who brought this to light without at least diving in deeper. And what I found funny is when you go on the docket, you'll see they're trying to say that this is new and groundbreaking, but this whole philosophy was shared back in 2016. There was a letter written to the judge, and it's on the docket. And the letter basically says the exact same thing that this new article is saying, that they believed Carmine Persico was a top echelon informant, and they wrote the judge directly. So I don't know how it's resurfacing now as some newly obtained information, groundbreaking information. I think it surfaced back in 2016, and I didn't follow what happened with it, but I'm sure if you pull the file.
Yeah, good point, Mike. If he was a top informant, Why would him and his son be doing all that jail time?
Documents. You'll see, I guess maybe it just had no legs and
But
just
see, I'm not really smart with all this legal stuff, so I'm glad that JTP made this friggin' video right here. Yeah, I caught some. I got flagged for hate speech on my other channel. I guess maybe Florida Flo, one of A-Light simps, combed through my videos and gave me a strike.
fizzled out because they realized it wasn't accurate, or maybe somebody just pointed out what I already spoke about in reference to the document, how the left column represents one thing and the right column represents another item. And it's crazy to me, but this just gives the public an idea of how these things work. Somebody could get something that's completely baseless and run with it if a reporter picks up on it. And a reporter and those involved don't do their due diligence and don't follow up and try to investigate something more thoroughly than looking at a piece of paper and interpreting it.
Yeah, see, most people, including myself, are not good with all this legal stuff and shit like that. So yeah, like we can be tricked very easy. So I'm glad that when I seen this podcast come out and watched it, this episode, I was grateful that it was put out there.
And corrected, because in my opinion, that's what was done. That piece of paper.
What's up? Someone mind just someone else's business. Hold on, I gotta try to wrench you guys. I'm on the wrong channel, but let me switch to my other channel and I'll wrench you.
Paper to me, the second I looked at it, I knew exactly what it represented. Just common sense. You have the left column, you have the right column, and you have the exact same number associated with everybody in the left column. And now if you take that number I told you and you Google it, you'll see the informant Gregory Scarpa Sr.'s name attached to that number. So I'm not understanding the hysteria of it. And then you have podcasts going on confirming it. Yeah, it looks like this guy was an informant. What are they basing that on?
Yeah, I think Paranoid Panisi and his buddy did a stream on this or something.
Are they basing it off of the same document I'm looking at that clearly shows two different columns, one giving a list of people's names and one giving the informant number associated with those names? I look at that document and say, okay, these are the top echelon targets that.
Hi, what's up, Todd Father? Mind someone else's business. Make sure, I'm sure everybody's subbed to his channel, but if you're not, sub to it. And sub to Justice Tech Pros channel too. I'm glad I found this guy's fucking channel, man.
Informants are tied to. So they put all individuals that they considered top tier in one column, and they put everybody on the right, all the informants.
What's up, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch? What's up?
On the right, who was giving information on that individual. I'm just not grasping where this story is going and how it has legs that it does. It's in forums. You have everybody, all the forum fools going nuts over it, posting about it. You have newspapers writing about it, podcasts being done about it, but it's really not accurate. I don't know what they're reading or what the justification is. One would need in-depth on analysis on those columns. They would need to know, okay, why is the same number associated with different people? Why, when I Google that number, does a certain...
See, I would have never understood all this. That's why this guy's channel's real. And plus, this guy should have way more subs than he has, man. Way more.
And show up. These are all questions that needed to be asked prior to, I guess, releasing this story. Because if they did, they would see it doesn't really hold any water.
I think this dude's a lawyer or something. He must be a lawyer because this guy is really sharp.
The interpretation somebody's trying to give it just doesn't line up. And the bigger picture here...
The Bulldogs, that's why I wanted to play this so more people could see it. Yeah, he is a smart, well-spoken guy for sure.
People should be concerned about is that look what could be done. Look how easily it is to destroy somebody's name wrongly. to accuse somebody of something that they're not. And one of the things,
and one of the last things you want to be called as a rat or a pedophile or something like that. And even though that Persico's dead, his family's still alive. So I'm glad he made this video right here.
He's brought up with, and I believe in, something that's almost as bad as an informant is somebody labeling someone an informant who's not.
Bobby DiMuccio. Come stai, Paisan? What's up, brother?
You can't go around just labeling people that without really having concrete evidence to back that up. You have to really know what you're doing and really make sure it's 100% ironclad before you stick that label on somebody. Because for some, that's a horrible label to have. Some people have their moral compass intact. Some people have ethics. Some people have things that they do believe in, and they don't sway and they don't change their beliefs based on what's better for them. Individuals have a strong constitution, so they don't want to be labeled something that isn't warranted and is inaccurate. So to do that to somebody really has repercussions that a lot can't see. Yeah. That's a big label to stick on somebody who, from what I've seen, the guy, unfortunately, he did a ton of time. He wound up passing away. The family had to deal with that, had to go through that. It's horrible.
What year did Persico pass away? Because he went to jail in the commission trial, right? Persico, he tried to represent himself, and the judge really stuck it to him, and he got life in prison. So, even me the other day, when people were coming in telling me he was a rat, I went with it like an idiot and believed it. You know what I mean? Because I can't understand all this. I'm not good with all this legal stuff and shit like that. So thank God we do have this guy, JTP, over here putting this out.
And to come out and try to diminish everything that somebody believed in by labeling them an informant, which to me is very obviously they weren't, number one. Number two, the document doesn't show anything. The document to me just shows, okay, these were the targets, and on the right column are the informants. That's what I see. I don't know how other people see it differently. And I look at these things with an open mind. I don't look at them.
Thanks for subbing to his channel, Todd Father.
Trying to disprove or prove. I just look at them at face value. I investigate a little, and then I'll conclude. And I just don't see what everybody else, what a lot of people are seeing. I've had some conversations with intelligent people. And
he died 3/7/2019. Thanks, Bulldogs.
They see it the way I do, and they're actually just as confused because we almost feel like we're in an alternate universe. That's something so clear as day is being misconstrued.
And plus, like I said, most people novice to and like myself, a novice to this, the legal and all this technical legal stuff. So I was fooled too.
And I guess I shouldn't be that.
And the last thing I want to do is call somebody a rat who's not a rat. So, and I did that the other night in the stream when people came in and told me that. So I kind of feel a little bad.
Why? Because I've witnessed that firsthand in court cases where you'll show something that is very clear as day.
Because remember, this guy's family is still has family members alive. You'd think they want their grandfather or their dad or their uncle's name besmirched like this.
Really not up for interpretation, but yet it will be interpreted. And you'll still get, well, I don't see it that way, which boggles my mind.
It's not
a matter of opinion when you're dealing with facts. It's not a matter of how you view something. It's a matter of saying, well, this is how it is. Look at it. So I don't get that. I have seen that done, so I guess I shouldn't be that shocked.
Thank God he came out with this podcast because, me too, I just believed it. You know what I mean? Like when they came in the stream and told me that.
What's concerning is just how quickly something like this blew up based on people not doing their due diligence, people not analyzing something and taking their time before they start releasing these things.
And you notice all the stool pigeons. I think, like I said, Paranoid Panisi did a video, and a couple other stoolies did a video on it.
I don't agree with it. From what I'm viewing, I don't see it. I don't know what they're pointing to. That's so.
And then there's some other people who are good people that went along with it because they probably didn't understand it or something like that, just like myself. I didn't understand it.
That's such a revelation. I don't see it. I see a document that on the left houses top echelon targets and the informants associated with those targets, and on the right you have the informants with their number.
After this video, I'll bullshit, and I'll tell you what happened with the strikes they hit me with. I have a hate speech strike and a copyright strike. So one more strike and the channel's gone. So I'll tell you my plans after this.
And there was some numbers redacted out, so that could be either they're still alive. Or I don't know what the reason is. There are numbers also redacted out when you go through the whole document. But I think the lesson everybody should really just gain from something like this, you can't, obviously we know you can't believe what you read, but even if you're reading something, look into it. Look at what they're showing and analyze it for yourself. Take 2 minutes to understand it before you draw conclusions. And there's going to be people, you could show them clear as day if eventually these reporters or these people come out and say we made a mistake. It doesn't matter. You're going to get people who are going to hold on to it, and that's going to be their go-to now. They're going to say, oh, didn't you see that Carmine Persico was an informant, which he's not and wasn't, but they'll still use that. You run one story, and some people will use that as all their citations. They won't.
See, if you get like even myself who got it wrong when people came in and I agreed with it, when you find out that it's wrong, you should admit you're wrong. But you'll never see like the Panisse rats or those guys doing that because this works in their favor. This helps the stoolies out that he's a rat.
Follow up with future citations that maybe alter that initial perspective. They'll just hold on to the one that fits their narrative that they want to push. So they'll grab this one citation, the 1 or 2 articles, they'll grab some of the forums, comments, and they'll use that to promote their agenda. And that's the shame part of it all. Now they have something in print that they're going to try to revert to, cite, and discuss and promote. And people will have to just be like, no, that's nonsense. This is what came out later. If they do. I don't even know if they will. It's very rare. You see a lot of reporters and people admit when they're wrong. They just may make it die out, and it'll be out there forever for others to come across and read. But again, I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know if I'm reading it wrong. I doubt it. It's pretty clear cut to me.
Joey Marlinos.
I just don't get how, based on that document, all of these things take place. Podcasts, news articles, discussions, people saying, oh, it's fact, he's an informant. I don't get how that conclusion is jumped to immediately off of a baseless document that, in my view, reads completely opposite, in which...
And I'm guilty for that. I didn't read the document or nothing. I just went with what other people were saying. I'm totally guilty of that. And that's why I got to thank this guy for making this video.
Lawyer and the reporter is trying to have you believe it reads. To me, it's very clear cut. One column, you have the top echelon targets and the informants page, where you have the informants on the right column associated with the individuals in the left column. So I don't get it. I don't get what's so hard to understand about.
With gas pipe, I don't know. We'll talk about it after. He only talks about this for a little more. The gas pipe thing, I believe gas pipe tried to tell on people, but since he brought Gravano into it, the government totally fucked him over, something like that. But gas pipe is still a rat, but his deal got fucked up.
About that, and I don't get how it's even up for interpretation. To me, the document doesn't say anything regarding Carmine Persico being an informant. It just shows that he was in the government's crosshair, and those were, along with other names. His name isn't the only name. There's a lot of names in that left column. So now they're trying to say every name in the left column was an informant. I mean, it's crazy.
And they tried to do the same to Neil Delacroix, Cuban says. Really? Hold on, Mike Ritt says gas pipe was telling the truth to the government when they started talking about Gravano. Yes, exactly.
There's nothing to justify that. There's nothing to support that. The people on the right-hand column with the numbers identifying who they are the ones informing on the guys in the left column. That's how I see it. So I don't really get it. But the bigger picture is, look how these things could get taken and run with. Anybody could go out and say anything, and then you'll get the believers that are behind them or their supporters, and it doesn't matter if it's true or not. They're just going to support them blindly. Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't free thinkers, so they just go with the crowd. And if they have, on the podcast, as I spoke about, an informant was doing a podcast about it. And
YouTube circus? What do you think, you moron? Of course not.
Now you're going to get super fans who just believe every word out of somebody's mouth, and now they're going to just run with that narrative. It's a dangerous thing to do. You ruin somebody's reputation off of nonsense, off of information that's baseless and holds no water. I'm hoping it eventually gets flushed out just for the family. I mean, let the guy's gone. Let him rest in peace. Leave the family alone.
Amen to that.
Alone. It's just, this is society, unfortunately. They just jump on these things, and the family's left, and friends are left to pick up the pieces and have to deal with it. And you have to realize what happens now is the informants, all these informants now at the podcast, which we spoke about, they're going to use that to justify their own moves to themselves.
Exactly. Justify their own ratting and stuff. Go fuck yourself, YouTube circus.
That earlier, they're going to use that now to say, oh, look, well, if this guy was supposedly this big-time organized crime individual and he just decided to become an informant, it makes sense that I was an informant. They're just going to use that to justify.
Yeah.
Again, for me, personally, nobody influences my beliefs. I don't care what anybody does. That doesn't have any impact on what I'm going to do. So that's just a weak-minded excuse if they try to use that to support whatever decisions they make.
And make sure you guys all sub to this guy's channel.
Number one, it's completely false. You're just making something up. It's like just making something up and using that as your rationale. At least use something that's legitimate, not a fantasy story that was completely wrong from the beginning. And the shame part is, now you're going to see this spread like wildfire all over YouTube. People are going to be using it and citing it and doing stories about it.
Yeah, it helps the rats. It emboldens the rats and justifies them.
To put a false label on somebody that they didn't deserve. And it's going to...
YouTube circus, you dance for me. You're my puppet. I don't ban him. Don't ban him. Long as he doesn't say nothing perverted, don't ban him.
Take time. If the lawyers involved, the families involved want to undo that, they got to do a lot of work to get that undone. I'm hoping perhaps more people will put out what I'm referring to show that.
That's why make sure people share this guy's video right here.
The document is not saying what people are trying to have you believe it's saying. To me, it's a pretty standard document where they list the individuals that are on their...
You don't have to be on your best behavior, you dumb fanoik. Just don't talk perverted or nothing. Let him speak whatever he likes, as long as he doesn't say anything perverted or stuff like that.
On their scope to focus on, and informants that are giving them information on those people. That's how I see it. It's pretty black and white to me when I look at it. But you'll see it. It's going to spread.
No, I didn't see that, Ron.
Columns about it. I just hope some legitimate individuals, some dedicated journalists, people who are in it for the right reasons, will investigate a little more and uncover it just for the simple purpose of somebody shouldn't be labeled something they're not. That's all. Regardless of my beliefs, that's irrelevant. I just don't believe anybody should be labeled something that they're not.
Yeah, amen to Justice Tech Pros. Nobody should be labeled something they're not. Even if they're dead 100 years, they're still their memory and their honor lives on. And not only that, their families have to deal with this.
That's all. You shouldn't inherit a false label based on incompetence. And that's all that happened here. The actions of those who started this came from a place of negligence and not taking the time to really exhaust efforts. And they unfortunately ran with something that wasn't accurate. So hopefully you get some solid journalists who kind of dive into that and maybe show the public, break down to the public exactly what the document is. And, at least show the other side of us. That once again, a false label was given, and now many are trying to run with it. There was a journalist, and I put his information on my website and stuff, Bill Moshe. He would be a good guy to run with this. That guy seemed to really expose everything, and he wrote a ton of articles on it, a ton of segments on it. He really exposed what goes on within the system and techniques like this that are used. So I have his information on my website if you ever want to read his articles.
Yeah, you guys go check out his website. I don't have the link for his website. I got to get that link or find it. It might be on his channel somewhere. I got to leave him a message and ask how I can get his website to share it.
But he was a big-time investigative journalist. He really ran with it his whole career, and he exposed a lot. And what I liked about him is he was on the other side of the fence at the beginning until he saw a lot of the tactics the government took, the informants that they used, the lies being spread, and then he his own moral beliefs had him focus on the reality of the situation as opposed to just putting out the narrative that was common.
What's who he? What's who he mean? You can't even speak proper English. You mean this guy? It says it right here. He's got a YouTube channel. Check it out.
Acceptable. So I give it. I like his work. Everything I've read, I liked. He's a good guy to look up and pull his information. Again, if you go to my website, you'll read a lot of his segments and what he wrote about. It's important.
We got to get this guy Tech Pro's website so he can share it on our channels.
It's good for jurists to read that kind of stuff.
English, no first language? Well, obviously, you freak. What do you want, a Florida Flows, friends? You one of the flaggers?
One side amusing note I wanted to touch on that seems to be more and more the norm. On all these podcasts within this realm, as I talk about, you have informants and then you have...
you got the link? Oh, cool. Thanks, Mike.
Other individuals talking about the informants.
He's got some pretty cool visuals on his channel, too. What's up, Crasperosa? What's up, Chris?
And you get some of these podcasts, which I don't get it. In one breath, they're using the term rat left and right, rat. And then in the background, you see who's getting phone calls from informants, who's commenting, that's an informant, which is fine. I just find it crazy that you honestly should drop the term rat. Just leave it alone. It's obvious.
Good point. Listen to what he's saying right here. This guy breaks it down fucking great.
That's not a big deal. You're okay with that, which everybody's entitled to, but it's a little confusing. In one segment, if somebody's using the term rat left and right and talking about who's a rat, who's not a rat, and then in the background, there's informants commenting, there's informants on their platform, informants being interviewed. I don't know. That's crazy to me. Just pick a lane and stick with it. Pick a belief and stick with it. If you are okay with certain people informing, that's fine. But to throw around the rat term left and right and then interact, I can't get it. I can't wrap my head around that. Maybe I'm not that bright. That's why I can't understand it. It's just very odd to me, that whole dynamic, and in one breath to be quote unquote rat bashing certain people that are supposedly that are informants, not supposedly, that are informants, and then in the next breath taking comments or having them on your show, interacting with them. I don't get it. I think you just got to stay away from that term.
That's why I don't even want them in my chat. I don't even want these rat bastards coming in my chat. Nothing like that.
Stop using rat. Leave it alone. Just you're fine with informants. You just don't like certain ones because of maybe personality conflict. But I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that they informed. Because if you don't like somebody because they informed, then how can you like somebody else?
Yep.
Who who is guilty of the same thing. It doesn't make sense. I think it needs to be clarified when a lot of these podcasts don't like individuals or they're bashing.
No, I don't. I didn't ban FBS. I don't ban nobody. I only ban people who talk perverted.
Individuals. It has nothing to do with the fact
And he's not a pervert. He doesn't talk perverted.
that they don't like them because they're informants. They just don't like them for personal reasons, which is fine. I think where I get confused is when it gets painted as something else, where they come out with this huge, again, quote unquote, anti-rat campaign, but then as time goes by, who's talking with them, texting with them, commenting with them, they're commenting on the show, they're planning future shows, they're on their shows, then I don't understand. Then it all goes out the window to me, because I don't even get that. If you are gonna put out there that you're against informants, then you got to be across the board with it.
Yep.
If you're not, then that's fine. Make it clear you're not against informants. You're okay with people informing. You just don't like certain individuals for personal reasons. That's fine. Everybody's different. That's what you believe in. I think
Ron Gross says, please read my comment. Which comment? Hold on. Let me see what Ron put up here. Which comment? Oh, drop it again, Ron.
where a lot of the listeners get confused is 1 minute you read or see one thing, and then the next minute there's all kinds of association with people that are doing the exact same thing you supposedly are against. So I don't get that. I just wanted to share that thought because maybe somebody else could relate to it or explain it to me, because I don't get it. I think they're better off just coming out from inception saying, I have nothing against informants, to each their own. I weigh each situation differently, and I don't like this person who happens to be an informant, but the reason I don't like him has nothing to do with the fact that he's an informant. That would at least make sense, and then you could decide whether you want to listen or not. But at least that makes sense. But when I saw a lot of them come out starting like where apparently they were doing this anti-rat thing, and then as time goes by, who's friends with who's texting who's reading statements from informants to clarify things, who's having them on the show, it gets very confusing. And as I said, that's why the one guy I like and I support is that Mob Rats Exposed.
Yeah, he gave me a shout out. Well, thank you, Justice Tech Pros. I love your podcast, man.
Like his show, I haven't seen him do any of that yet. He's been on for over a month.
And nobody ever will see me talking to rats, letting them in my chat. Any stool pigeon comes in my chat, I ban them automatically. Any stoolie comes in any mob rat comes in my chat, I ban them. I refuse to talk to them, interact with them, or platform them. I will never do that.
And I don't believe that's his style. I think he makes it clear he just doesn't align with informants, and he's going to stay away from them. He don't like them in his chat. He's not going to give them a platform. Whether you agree with it or not, you have to respect the fact that he drew a line as far as his interaction with informants, and that's what he stands by. And then you get a lot of people where they go, oh, but he's hypocritical, or anybody says, because he talks to this person who talks to a rat. Well, now it's getting crazy. I mean, listen, this is YouTube. Nobody's hanging out with each other. Nobody's buddies.
Exactly. People
are interacting. But there's a big difference between interacting with somebody who's directly an informant and somebody who has a podcast.
How am I friends with a rat, that guy? You can't pull my strings and manipulate me. If you think I'm some dummy where you can sway or make me hate people or say certain things by commenting, you got the wrong guy, you Ricky Yoon.
Podcast who may deal with informants. That's a little different. Now you're just talking about podcasters interacting with each other. So I don't really see that connection. We're not talking about personal lives and who's going over each other's house and who's going out for drinks. To me, that gets a little crazy when they start, well, this one associates with this one who doesn't, now you're doing background checks on people to see who talks to who. I mean, it's YouTube, for God's sakes. It's not that important.
But I'm not gonna go into chats no more that do platform stool pigeons and stuff. I got nothing against them people. I understand they want to do shows and stuff, but me personally, I'm not going to go into chat rooms and stuff who platform these stoolies or talk to them
I
behind the
just judge the
scenes.
individual based on their individual actions. I don't do 13 degrees of Kevin Bacon on the person. I just don't do that. A lot of people I know do that, but then they're the biggest hypocrites because then they should shine the light on the people they associate with. It's just crazy. I don't know. It's just there's so much crazy behind the scenes information and things that you see, and you have to laugh at, and you have to thank God you're not really involved in any of that. My purpose on here has more to do with the direction of my organization, and we listen to things and we pull things to help defendants, to help other attorneys. We build a database with information and
See, he is an attorney or something like that for sure.
shots and comments to help possibly future cases, things coming up. So
I'm not your boy, sir, 'cause don't call me a boy, you fucking Ricky Yoon.
there's a meaning behind why I have to view certain things, because the truth is I wouldn't want to be bothered. Although I would probably still listen to the ones that make me laugh, because that's different. That's entertaining. That stuff cracks me up. But I wouldn't listen to a lot of the ones that I turn on and try to, or I tell somebody in my team to turn on.
Why, what happened with Ralph? Did he die? Did Ralph roll a 7? Really? I didn't hear nothing like that.
Record or capture things. I definitely wouldn't be that involved. What else did I want to talk about? I wanted to tell a little bit of a story in general, just how.
All right, well, I'm going to stop it there because I just wanted to put the stuff up he put on with Persico. I might shut this down and go live on my other channel because I'm having some troubles with this channel right here. And I want to go on the other channel and explain why I'm going to, I got to stop doing some shows. I got to stop critiquing other, meaning pulling up other people's shows where I could get a strike. So I'm going to shut this down and I'm going to go live on my other channel. Thank you very kindly for watching, and make sure you sub to Justice Tech Pros. I'll be back in like 10 minutes on my other channel.